All right, bro. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to actually lose belly fat, what actually works. You've been hearing a bunch of BS online. Forget all that shit. All right, take your notepads out because we're about to dive in. There is my before and after. As you see, I know what I'm talking about. And as you see, this works for other people too. I'm not just some guy off the fucking internet. This is what I do for a living. I help guys get rid of their belly fat. And what I love about these transformations that you're looking at right now is that these gentlemen are all over 40 years old, right? Two of them are 43, one of them is 50 years old. So if a 43-year-old and a 50-year-old can do this and it works for them, it should work for you 1000% more without question. Look at the befores and afters. The top guy on the left, Gio from Chicago, shout out to him if he's watching this video. Literally lost 40 pounds, got him with a fucking 8-pack, an 8-pack at 43 years old. We got Mr. Michael from Boston, right? We dropped about 20 pounds on him. And as you guys see, we completely changed his look. And then we have Mystery Man on the right, which shall remain confidential, right? But he is from New York originally. So as you guys see his stomach, right? Before and after. So how would your life change if you could finally get rid of your stomach? How would you look like in a suit, bro? Pulling up to work without that belly hanging over your shirt buckle. So every single person watching this video, I want you to take your hand and I want you to pinch your belly, all right? If you can pinch fat, then this video is for you. Pay the fuck attention. If you don't have a six-pack, this video is for you, all right? So this video is for anyone who's never had a six-pack before. Bro, if you've never had a six-pack before, you don't know what it takes to get there. You see all this information online, you think you might know, but if you've never done it before, you don't know what it takes to get there, right? It's like if you've never had sex before, bro, you don't know how to make a girl come. You can fucking read about that shit online, you can watch porn, but until you actually do it for the first time yourself, you're never going to know how to do it. So you don't know how to get a six-pack, take some humble pie, and get ready to take some notes, right? This video is for anyone who lacks confidence, bro. So a lot of the issues here is not only like superficial, bro, right? Not being able to feel confident with who you are as a man has so many profound impacts, right? From your job to your relationships, to your ability to treat other people well, to treating yourself well, right? Maybe you lack self-belief. And that's probably a reason why you can't stay consistent, because you're like, you know what? I can't stay consistent with the plans that I have because I don't know if I'm going to get results, right? Because you don't have a set plan, right? So if you take notes and actually make a plan for yourself and follow it, you're going to have the belief that, you know what? This is actually going to work, right? Self-esteem. Again, if you have low self-esteem, you're going to be putting up with bullshit. Your girlfriend's going to disrespect you. You're going to be in shitty relationships because you don't think you could do any better, bro. How could you do any better if you got fucking bitch tits and you got a big ass stomach hanging over your belt buckle, bro? Real talk, right? And also for the people that need to get healthy, this is also about health, bro. If you're over 200 pounds, 220 pounds, bro, you're fat. And if you're under 6 feet, you are borderline obese. This is a health issue. I'll hear guys say all the time, bro, like it's not that important to me. I mean, I feel all right. Yeah, you feel all right? Yeah, do you want to be around 15, 20 years from now, bro? Do you want to be around for your daughter's wedding? What kind of example are you setting to the people around you? How can you expect other people to respect you if you don't respect your own health? You need to get healthy, bro. And part of that is chopping off this belly fat and that visceral fat, which is a health issue, bro. You're 220 pounds, bro. I'm 6'3", 210 pounds. And you're not my height and you're fucking heavier than me? Come on, man. And also, tired of being average, bro. Man, bro, if you're tired of being average, you feel like you're invisible to women. You know what I'm saying? I've been there before when I was out of shape. I know what that feels like to fucking walk down the street and get completely ignored. It doesn't matter how nice your outfits are, how much money you spend on a fucking car and all this shit. Bro, at the end of the day, when somebody sees me, I want them to be like, damn, I want to know who that man is. I want them to look at me instead of what I got on. I want them to like them for me. You know what I'm saying? I want them to respect me when I come out the car, not my Cadillac V Sport. You know what I'm saying? When I pull up, I don't want them to be like, damn, that's a nice car. I want them to say, damn, who's that dude driving that car, right? So if you're tired of being fucking average, pay attention because it's going to help you out. Now, we're going to go over practical things that you need to do. We're going to talk about the diet, the nutrition, the activity, the lifestyle. We're going to talk about it all. But before we get into it, there is something I need you to understand. Guys, when I made this transformation, when my clients make transformations, every single person that has made transformations, they have a certain mindset, okay? And there's a mindset that you need to have. There's a mindset shift that you must have, and that's what we're going to talk about. Every single person I have ever met that gets rid of their belly fat and goes from fat to ripped Guys, this is a serious transformation. This is a serious transformation, right? They all have three things in common. I need you to take notes. Number one, they make this a priority. What do I mean? They don't let anything get between them and their goals. Oh, I have these parties to go to and I have these birthday cakes to eat. Bro, at the end of the day, your fucking friends don't care if you lack confidence and you feel like shit and if you're in a shitty relationship and if you're unhealthy. They just care about you going to the party with them, right? So if this is not a priority to you, you're going to allow other people to interfere with your goals. You're going to let other things get in the way. So people that actually go from fat to rip, when I gone from fat to rip, all my clients that go from fat to rip, they make this a priority. They make it a priority, whether that means investing in coaching instead of investing in bullshit vacations that do absolutely nothing for you because you come back to the same problems. Whether that's means saying no to some of your friends that invite you out to eat buffets or go on fucking drinking binges and going on clubs on weekend and drinking all this alcohol. Whatever that means, you need to make this a priority, right? This is a big change. This is a transformational change that you are embarking on. And you must make this a priority if you actually want to get this done. If not, if you don't make this a priority, you will never go from fat to ripped. You're going to stay with your belly fat. You will never go from having a belly to having a six pack. I've never met a single person who's gone from having a belly to having a six pack who doesn't make it a priority. Okay. Second thing, you have to stay consistent. Bro, you can hit the ground running and go hard as fuck for 2 weeks. That doesn't matter. What matters is staying consistent for 3 months, for 6 months. That's what matters, bro, is consistency. You have to stay consistent. Oh, you can eat great for 5 days and then on the weekends you fuck up all your progress, and we're going to talk about that. So those things, you need to stop doing that, okay? People that actually transform themselves and their lives, they actually stay consistent. That's the only way to do it. And thirdly, they start their journey from a place of honesty. Now, what am I talking about? So look at that guy staring at himself in the mirror. And I've talked about this before on my channel, bro. Look, if you keep lying to yourself, that you're not that disgusted with yourself and your life is fine and this is not a big problem, you're never going to have a sense of urgency to actually make this a priority. It wasn't until I looked at myself in the mirror one day and I was like, bro, what the fuck have I done to my life? I'm eating all this McDonald's every single day for 6 months. I've been in a relationship where this chick has been disrespecting me for months on end, and I've been eating all her shit because I know that I can't do any better, because I look at myself and I do not have the confidence because I know I look like fucking shit. When am I going to stop coping by hopping from relationship to relationship and actually working on myself so I can do whatever the fuck I want in my life and walk around like a proud motherfucker? Come from a place of honesty. Stop fucking coping with all this shit and hanging out with your friends and fucking drinking alcohol and doing all this sex shit, thinking that that's going to make you feel better about yourself when you don't even feel good about you. You need to be honest. You could take out a notebook and start writing, right? Or you can look at yourself in the mirror like I did. But you have to start from a place of honesty. All these guys that I work with, my clients or people that I've met that have had transformations, they start with a place of honesty. You know what? Let's cut the bullshit, man. How do you really feel about yourself? How do you really feel about your dating situation? How do you really feel about your confidence and your ability to get women? Be honest, bro. Okay, so these are the 3 mindset shifts that you must have in order to make this transformation from having a big ass stomach to getting a six pack. Now, let's go into the what to do. All right, I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need to do. I'm not gonna gatekeep nothing. The only thing that I ask is that you like the video, bro, because I'm putting you on free game and I got a lot of game to give you. So these are the 5 steps we're gonna talk about in this video, okay? This is literally what you must do to lose your belly fat. Guys, I don't care what you think, all right? You're fat, right? And I'm not. So you should listen to me and stop listening to all this BS online. I've shown you proof that I know what I'm talking about. So all this thing about keto this and all this shit and all these complicated don't eat after 6 or don't eat rice and don't eat bread, all that shit, just throw it out the window, okay? Throw it out the window. And just stick to these 5 steps I'm going to tell you. Number 1, eat in a calorie deficit. We're going to go in depth into each one later. Number 2, work out at least 3 to 4 times a week. And we'll talk about that later. Number 3 is walk 20 minutes a day. Number 4 is avoid binging and cheating on the weekends. I'm laughing because you're probably guilty of that. That's probably the reason why you're fat, okay? Number 5 is get in at least 6 hours of sleep. We're going to go one by one and talk about each one in depth. Now, step number 1 is eat in a calorie deficit. You will never get rid of your stomach unless you eat in a calorie deficit every single day. Regardless of what anybody tells you, it's your hormones, calories don't matter, and all this stuff, don't eat bread. It's bullshit, bro. Look, the only way to guarantee your success is through numbers, because numbers don't lie. Okay, this universe was built on mathematics. So if we're literally proving and guaranteeing that you're losing fat every single week using numbers, how can you possibly not hit your goals? It makes it impossible to not hit your goals, but you have to eat in a calorie deficit. every single day. Stop guessing. Guessing doesn't work. Now, this will allow your body to start burning its own fat for fuel. When you eat in a calorie deficit, your body starts using the fat for fuel, and that's how it starts burning it off. That's how the liver oxidizes fat, okay? Now, how do we find our calorie deficit? Very simple. You take your body weight, you multiply that by 11 or 12. Now, why 11 or 12? Because it's based on your activity level primarily, okay? If you're more active, you're going to want to multiply it by 12, and you're going to want to start there. Now, how do we actually track this, right? There's 2 apps that I'm going to recommend that I've recommended before, but we're going to use a calorie app tracker to make sure that we are tracking everything we eat, right? If you're eating whole foods, a lot of them, you're going to have to weigh them out and then look up the foods on the app. You're going to have to look up chicken breast, and then you're going to have to put 200 grams. And it's going to tell you 60 grams of protein, 240 calories, boom. And then it's going to start adding your calories throughout the day so that you stay within that calorie limit and do not go over it like we talked about, okay? Now, here are the 2 apps. And I'm not sponsored by any one of these 2, so don't come at me sideways because I'm giving my honest opinion. We have Lose It and MyFitnessPal, okay? I like Lose It app. I think it's easier to use, right? And these apps also allow you to scan barcodes. So if you're eating, like, let's say like a snack, which I don't believe in, or like a protein bar, or like some or like whatever you're eating, you can scan the barcode. And if it's like one serving or one item, you can just enter one item or one serving, and it's going to actually just automatically add the total calories, okay? Now, once you sign in on the app, apart from making a profile, it's going to make you select your goal calories, right? So we already talked about the goal is going to be your body weight times 11 or your body weight times 12. And then it's going to make you split up those calories in percentages, okay? And these percentages are going to give you the macro splits. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about and this is too confusing, I do offer one-on-one coaching if you're serious about transforming your physique, all right? You can hit the link in the description and we can talk about it, see if I can help you, right? But I've made full in-depth 1-hour video guides that I will post also in the description so you can check out a full tutorials on exactly what macros are. But basically, macros are carbs, fats, and proteins, the only nutrients that contain calories. And so these are going to be the percentage splits that you're going to want to have in the app so that what you eat is actually split up in the correct ratios. What does that mean? What that means is you shouldn't be eating fucking bread all day. You shouldn't be eating fucking avocados all day. You should be eating protein, fats, and carbs, which means a little bit of rice, some chicken, and some fats. And if you split it, the percentages up in this way, you're going to be hitting your daily macro goals. However, the most important thing is that you hit your calorie number. Do not go over your calorie limit. That's the first most important thing. Once you get that down, then you can start worrying about hitting your macros perfectly, right? Now, I have a lot of guys that will ask me, bro, in one video, you recommended a 40% protein, 40% carbs, and 20% fat split. And in the other video, you recommended 45% carbs, 35% protein. Bro, look, you have to stop making excuses in your head why you're not getting results. These percentages are not going to sabotage your results. Whatever percentages you choose to follow, you're still going to lose fat. The reason you're not getting results is not because of the percentages, it's because of your consistency, dumbass. Yes, I said it. So I've never met a single person that said, yo, I'm doing 45 carbs and 35% protein and I can't get ripped. No, I've never met a single person that does, no. The fact that you are not getting results is not because of the percentages. Stop over obsessing over things that don't move the needle. What moves the needle is your ability to shut up and be consistent. You know what I'm saying? So that's the comment. I just want to address that comment because I'll get those comments. Obviously, these percentages, they do play a role in terms of getting very lean towards the end. And again, that's why you want coaching, because recommending percentages, these are just recommendations, right? But there's specifications based on a per person basis, based on their body weight, based on their height, based on how much muscle they have, etc., which you can fine tune this even more so it can work even better and the results can come even faster, right? But if you follow these guidelines, you're going to be more than well suited to actually drop your body fat to 15%, okay? Now, common calorie deficit mistakes. Number one is measuring the food weighed versus cooked. Bro, measure your food cooked. That's it. You can ask why. I'm not going to give you an explanation. Just measure your food cooked. And when you look up the foods in the app, make sure you're looking up the cooked measurements, because what happens is some guys will track their food cooked, and then when they enter it on the app, they'll use uncooked. And if you enter the uncooked, it's going to give you like 10x more calories than what it actually is. So make sure You're measuring your food cooked, and you're looking up the food cooked on the app Calorie Tracker. Very important. Number two, condiments, cooking oils, bro. Look, a lot of people will overeat 200 to 300 calories a day just from cooking oils and calories and condiments, which means that you're not going to lose fat. The calorie deficit that we were shooting for, you're overeating it using condiments and using cooking oils. You have to use sugar-free condiments. Stop using the regular ketchup. Stop using regular barbecue sauce and mayonnaise and all this stuff. Use 0-calorie condiments. There's a lot of them. I've made videos on it before. You can Google them, right? Or use no sugar added or sugar-free condiments. Watch your condiments, bro. Cooking oils as well. Using butters, excess olive oil, and all this shit. Guys, that really adds up. That was a major problem in my fitness journey when I was younger, is I'd be eating 3 steaks a day, but I'd be cooking the fuck out of it with olive oil, wondering why I wasn't getting lean. Bro, I was way over consuming fats. And then the snacking thing, which this kind of like, this irks me the wrong way because, I mean, kids are the ones that be snacking. Kids are the ones that you give snacks to. Grown men shouldn't be, give me a snack, give me a snack. What the fuck is this snack shit, bro? Man up, stop eating bullshit, because those snacks are the reason you look like the way you do, right? So cut out the snacks and understand that all those fucking peanuts and all those almonds and all those nuts, that you're having throughout the day is literally preventing you from losing fat. It's putting you over your calorie limit, okay? And then the third thing, which is very common, guys, a lot of people will stop their calorie deficit because they feel small, skinny, or they feel flat. I wrote fat, but I meant to say flat. Now, flat means that the muscle loses roundness, okay? But here's the thing, bro. You need to deplete the muscle glycogen in order to burn the fat off. So the muscle is filled with muscle glycogen, okay? In order to tap into your fat stores, you need to deplete the muscle glycogen, which means the muscle is going to look flatter in order for the body to start using fat as fuel. If you don't allow that to happen and you start eating up as soon as your muscles feel flatter, you will never burn fat. And that's why, look at your stomach right now. You do not have a six-pack, and Huncho does, and my clients have it because they understand this, and I coach them through it, and we stay the course. So stop fucking getting yourself out the deficit because you feel small, skinny, and flat. That is the number one mistake. You need to be flat in order to burn body fat. It's rule. It's a law, okay? Now, step number 2, working out at least 3 to 4 times per week. Guys, I know it's very common on the internet to want to market. Fitness coaches like to market their shit. Oh, you only need 1 hour a week or 2 hours a week. Guys, if it was that easy, everybody would do it. They're trying to make it sound easy because they're trying to sell you some shit. I've been in the fitness game for 10 years, bro. I've coached hundreds at this point. I've helped hundreds of men. And I'm here to tell you this. There's not a single one that has an amazing physique with fucking 2 to 3 days or 2 hours a week of working out. That's impossible. It's impossible. You want it to be true, but it's not true. I've been around elite physiques. I've been working out for 10 years. I'm a coach. Anyone that's telling you that you can have a great physique 30 minutes a day or fucking 2 hours a week, they're lying to you. They are lying to you. So you should be working out at least 3 times a week. That's the bare minimum. 4 times a week is good. 4 times a week is good. That will get the job done most certainly. Now, you must build lean mass in order to help you burn fat. And all these transformations that you saw with my clients, with myself, we were heavily focused on building lean mass and strength because that allows us, as we build more lean mass, the body composition starts to lower the fat. Does that make sense? So it's important to build lean mass because it's going to allow you to burn more fat and lower your body fat way more than you would otherwise if you were just losing weight in general, okay? Now, you have to use a program specifically maximized for strength and muscle gain. Stop doing pussy shit. All this fucking corny crap that you see online about these little kettlebell things and all these little dancing workouts. And bro, do you guys really actually believe that stuff? Like, I'm curious. Like, do you guys really actually believe that doing like air jumps or like doing squats at home is going to build an amazing physique? They're selling you bullshit. All right. My channel, I keep it raw and real. You know what I'm saying? I keep it raw and real. It's not going to be super easy. It's going to take work, but the results are guaranteed if you listen to what I'm telling you. And I have the proof, as you saw. So work hard. Okay. If you want great results, it's going to take great work. You know what I'm saying? If you train soft, you're going to look soft. If you train hard, you're going to look hard. If you train like a pussy, you're going to look like a pussy. That's probably why you look the way you do now. Okay? So Understand that you have to find a program that's maximized for strength and lean muscle mass, right? Also, this is going to help increase your metabolism, bro. What is metabolism? Metabolism is the rate that your body burns calories at. The more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism is. The higher your metabolism is, the easier it is to lose fat and the easier it is to lose weight. Okay? So that's why step 2 is actually focusing on building muscle. I hear guys say, oh, I dropped 100 pounds, but then they look skinny fat. Or they still have bitch tits, or they still have a stomach. Yeah, that's because you didn't put on muscle as you came down, as you dropped your body fat, leaving you with an end result that you're not even proud of, bro. Because you did it the wrong way. You lost weight too fast, and you didn't build muscle. So you want to make sure you're building lean muscle, you're following a workout program, obviously eating enough protein, right? In order to actually build muscle as you come down. Now, step number 3, start walking 20 minutes per day. Guys, you'll see a lot of this stuff online too. You'll see a lot of these influencers doing all these crazy like sprints and all this box jumping and all this shit, hopping around like frogs. Bro, look, walking is the best form of fat burning activity because it isn't exhausting, which means you can do as much of it as you want without it interfering with your recovery or your daily energy or your daily activities, and without risking muscle loss, which is important. A lot of those high activity cardio routines, they're going to burn off muscle glycogen. And the point in doing cardio is not to burn glycogen, it's to burn fat. Okay, that's why walking is so great, right? That's why walking is so great. So I wrote here, running is stupid as hell. It turns on your hunger hormones. I have guys that tell me, bro, I'm running like 2 to 3 times a week. And then they'll tell me, yo, I have a hard time sticking to a meal plan because I'm always hungry. Yeah. Do you know that running and raising your heart rate above a certain limit turns on ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone? Okay, how about you stop running, right? And you start walking so you can burn more fat and you can stop getting so hungry so you can stop sabotaging your results, so you can stop having a belly fat that has you feeling with a lack of confidence and all the other stuff we talked about earlier, okay? So guys, running, I'd highly recommend for you to stop running and just start walking. You can start walking outside. Okay, make sure your heartbeat is around 130 to 140 beats per minute. If you have a tracker to track it, or on the treadmill, usually a speed of like 2.5 to 3.0, right? With an incline level of 6 to 8 will put your heart rate at that rate. Okay, if you need to go higher on the incline to get your heart rate a little bit higher, then go ahead and do so. Also, cardio improves digestion. It's going to allow you to start digesting the food properly. Okay, and it's very important, especially nowadays where we have so much crappy foods. It's important to maximize digestion. So cardio and getting active actually helps you digest and assimilate all this food that you're eating. Now, step number 4 is avoid binging and cheating on the weekends. This was something I really struggled with before. I felt like I deserved a reward. But you know what the real reward is? The real reward is to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and realize that you're a man of discipline and of character, a man that doesn't miss and keeps his word to himself, right? So stop rewarding yourself with crap foods at the end of the week, because what you're doing is you are literally screwing up your weekly progress. You can lose an entire week of progress literally in one day. Okay, don't be fooled by the cheat days that these fitness influencers have you believe in, bro. You're not a fitness influencer. You're not on steroids. You don't have amazing genetics. You're not taking a bunch of supplements. You're a regular Joe Schmo, which means you have to stop doing these cheat days. I used to do these cheat days, bro. I used to see these guys eating fucking Five Guys and all this shit, and I'd binge out. I'd be like, you know what? Today I did legs, so let me reward myself. Yeah, let me reward myself. That's why I had love handles and a big stomach for a long time until I hired a coach, and I've talked about this before. So stop doing these cheat days and cheat meals because you're not a fitness influencer. It doesn't work, okay? And if you're actually tired of being fat, you will actually commit. If not, then you will cheat. Does that make sense? So you need to commit instead of cheat. That's it. It's that simple. And then you'll talk about, yo, like, it's not working, like all this advice doesn't work. No, I mean, the advice works. The problem is that you don't fucking work because you're screwing up your progress literally in one day, and all those 6 days that you did before, you're throwing it in the trash can. That's why you look the way you do, bro. So you have to stop binging and cheating on the weekends. Stop rewarding yourself with the foods that have you looking and feeling the way that you do. Those foods are the reason that you feel like shit, bro. So why are you rewarding yourself with those foods? Does that make sense? Now, number 5, and this is underrated, especially for the older gentlemen. because a lot of the guys that I do work with are older. So I stress this a lot. Guys, sleep is important, bro. Okay. Having bad or poor sleep will literally prevent fat loss from happening. Okay. If you are not getting at least 5 to 6 hours of sleep as a bare minimum, then you are just not serious about transforming your physique. That's the bare minimum, bro. The bare minimum is 5 hours, 6 hours a night. If you can't do that, then my question is like, bro, like, are you really serious to commit? Like, are you really serious about changing your physique? Okay. Sleep is responsible for cortisol, testosterone, and thyroid hormones. How can you expect to lose fat if you aren't even doing the bare minimum? And here's my question. Is scrolling on Instagram all night worth more to you than having your dream body? Do you guys think Huncho goes to sleep at 1 a.m? Do you think I sacrifice my sleep for some bullshit dopamine or for some booty call that some chick hits me up? Bro, I gotta sleep. I gotta take care of my health. My health comes first because without that, I have nothing. Okay, so is scrolling on Instagram more important to you than having your dream body? That's my question to you. All right, so if you want an in-depth step-by-step tutorial on how to make a meal plan for yourself, because I didn't go over that necessarily, right? And you want to learn how to make caloric and dietary adjustments. Essentially, if you want to learn how to become your own coach to get this done, you can literally check out my 1-hour guide videos, which has 70,000 views. So that's how you know it's actually a good video. It's 52 minutes long, and I tell you from A to Z exactly how to plan out your meals, what to do in your meals. I break down macros, I break down protein, fats, and carbs. I break down every single thing, all right? But if you want to completely transform your physique, your belly fat into a six-pack, and you don't want to have to worry about none of that shit or calculating this or thinking about that or guessing, book a call below for one-to-one coaching. All right. This is a coaching program. So that means that I program and plan everything so we can actually hit your specific goals. And I'm going to coach you from A to Z so that we actually hit them and hitting your goals become a guarantee. Because I'll tell you this, bro. Right now, if you just stay doing what you're doing by yourself, there's a guarantee. The guarantee is that you'll stay exactly where you're at. The guarantee is that you won't change. The guarantee is that you'll never get ripped because you've been doing it and it hasn't been working. Okay, so that is what I can do for you. If you want my help, book a call below. I'm not going to yell at you. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a chill conversation. But guys, if you found that helpful, please hit the like button. Okay, it helps out the channel. The channel's been kind of slow a little bit lately, but hopefully this video clarified a lot of shit that you'll see online, misinformation. And if you guys have any questions, all right, write them down in the comments. So that was the video. Southpaw Huncho checking out. Peace.